Hello everybody and welcome to my introduction guide for Grand Theft Auto Online for PC. Now, before I get any comments pointing out, I know that the PC version isn't out yet, but I thought I'd create this guide as a way of showing the PC players what you can come to expect once the game does eventually come out on the 14th of April. The gameplay footage is from the PS4, so it's the best quality there is possible for GTA, because obviously Xbox One runs at 900p I think it is, and then last gen consoles is obviously lesser quality. So I want to get the best quality so I can show you guys what it looks like and what you come to expect when it comes to PC. In this video, I'm going to cover the start of Grand Theft Auto Online, from things like creating your character, to jobs, and how to earn cash, to stuff in free roam, like activities and apartments and garages, and more. So the first thing in GTA Online that you'll need to do is obviously create your character. So when you first start up GTA Online, it'll jump you straight into the character select menu where you could create one or two characters or maybe more for the PC version. In the character creator, there are lots of customization options for you to change so you can go nuts and make your character look as good or as bad as you really want them to. Just to cover some of the options in there, as you can see from the background, you could change some of the stuff like changing their mom and dad, which obviously influences what they look like and I find is really pretty cool. Then once you've found their mom and dad, you can go to change stuff onto their features, which allows you to further add your own look to their face. So that covers stuff like editing their eye shape, their nose shape, their shape of their lips, you know, just all kinds of crazy stuff to do with their face like that. Of course, you can change the appearance of their hair, their eyebrows, their facial hair, and you know, a lot of other stuff like that. So like I say, there's a lot of detail in the character customizations options which you can do and cover, so make sure you do spend, obviously because you can't change your character once you're done, so make sure you spend a lot of time on that and get it how you want it to look. So once you've done their face and how you want it to look, you've got to then pick on a style for their clothes. You don't really need to spend too much on this because you can obviously buy and change clothes within GTA Online, obviously once you've loaded into the world. But if you just want to pick a basic one, then obviously go with that. You can also change their starting stats and obviously give them a name, and once you've done that, you're pretty much done. I should also say that the name doesn't really show up within the game. It only shows you, like for example, your gamer tag or like whatever name you are on Steam or whatever above your character. So don't spend too long thinking of an amazing name because it's not really going to be shown anywhere. And before I finish on this section, I do really want to reiterate that before you do finish, make sure you double check everything, because you'll only possibly give them one more chance to change their appearance, maybe when you next load on, because that sometimes does happen. I've had that happen once I've made my character a couple of times. It always, when next time I come on, it always gives me that option to, are you sure you want your character to look like this? So obviously you might not get that chance, so do spend a lot of time double checking everything and making it look how you want to. So now that you've spent some time creating your very own character, you've got the choice on whether to complete the tutorial or just jump straight into free roam. I definitely do recommend you doing the tutorial if you're new to GTA or GTA 5, but if you've played the campaign beforehand, then you possibly don't necessarily have to do it. The tutorial takes only about 20 to 25 minutes depending on how fast you go through it, and it shows you some of the things like how races are in the games. It gives you an example job for you to complete. It then takes you through the shops and tells you this is how you can customize your shops and your own hair and stuff like this. And finally, the last bit of the tutorial also gets you your own car for free, which you can't do if you skip it. So like I say about the tutorial, if you do it, you do get it for free, but if you don't, then you'll have to go to Los Santos Customs yourself with a car that you've chosen and pay to add on a tracker. So that's kind of a good thing that you get out of the tutorial. But because I don't really want to spoil any more of the tutorial for you obviously to play for yourself, I'm going to jump straight into talking about the main section of GTA Online, which is how to earn money through completing jobs. There's a massive selection and massive range of jobs for you to play over the course of you leveling up your character. The jobs are given out by some of the characters in the single player and possibly some more new NPCs which you might not have seen before. To start a job is pretty simple. You can either go to the start menu and select one from the Rockstar created list, you could call up an NPC and request a job from them there, or you can accept a job from the list which you've been invited to from your phone. One thing you may notice though is while you're a low level, you might not have too many missions. The reason for this is because you have to level yourself up to get access to better missions. However, just because you're not that certain level to do it, that doesn't mean you cannot play it. If you have a friend that is level 90 for example, and you're level 5, they can invite you to a mission and you can obviously earn the same amount of RP and everything from there. This may change, bear in mind, for the PC version. I'm not sure why they would do that. But from the last gen consoles and the current gen consoles, that's how it works. Now because there is a big massive variety and range of missions, I'm not going to talk and explain every single one and how to complete them in this video, because that's just honestly too stupid and I would need probably about 20 hours to explain them all. So there is a lot for you to explore and obviously find out. However, while I talk, the gameplay in the background is from a couple of different missions which I've done that aren't necessarily too hard to complete and might be ones that you do or maybe possibly find out while you're low level. Mission structures are kind of similar, not to say they are very monotonous, but they have a similar structure in the way that it's normally go to this place, get this thing, and bring it back to me, and the job is complete. Simple as that. Once a job is complete, you'll get a summary at the end of what you've earned from that mission, including JP, RP, and GTA dollars. JP stands for job points, and they aren't really that important in GTA Online. The only time you'll ever see how many JP someone has is when you're in a lobby, and that's how many missions they've done within a row, if you kind of understand what I mean by that. So if you do 2 missions in a row, you'll get 15 JP from each, and you'll have 30 overall. But when you find a new session, it goes away anyway. So like I say, not too important. RP is your XP, or what stands for reputation, which is kind of self-explanatory because everyone knows how XP works. Is you get 100 XP and you'll level up to level 2, you'll get 500, you level up to level 5. You know how that works. And finally, GTA dollars is the currency, which is just, you can think of it as normal American dollars. Like I was saying earlier, there is a big variety of missions for you to play in GTA Online, so if you don't like a specific mission that you get early in the game, don't worry, because once you unlock some higher tier ones, you will never have to go back and do them again, if you choose to do so. Another thing I should note on about jobs is that you can actually change how much money and RP you can actually earn from a job, which is quite interesting. Bear with me if you haven't played GTA Online, because this might be slightly hard to explain, but it should be okay if you just use your eyes. If you play your difficulty at normal, which is kind of like the base, which is 1.25 times RP and cash, then you'll get 1.25, which is kind of like the standard that everyone normally plays at. Whereas if you play on hard, it'll be 1.5 times RP and cash. Although if you drop it down to easy, then it'll be just 1 times XP and cash, which, you know, is not too much of a problem. Also, as well, on top of that, since the original release of GTA Online, Rockstar have actually changed the way you earn any bonus money from the mission. Now, a big thank you to the GTA Wiki, which has got this handy table which explains how you can get more bonus missions and bonus RP and bonus money, sorry. You can actually see what you need to do to get more out of a mission. Just to simply explain it, it means the longer you take on a mission, the more you will be rewarded at the end. Some people tend to complete jobs as fast as possible because, more than likely, you would get more from doing the jobs twice as fast than doing it once and taking 15 or 16 or, you know, any more than that minutes to do so. There are also other ways for you to increase the amount of RP too. Things like playing with your friends or playing with people that are in your crew, or by using stuff like free aim rather than using auto aim will also increase the amount of RP you will get at the end. If you want to read any more about those, you can obviously follow the link in the description, because I'll link the GTA Wiki table as I just showed on the screen right then, and you can obviously follow that page and read it on there if you need to know any more information about that. And that finally about covers, like I say, apart from explaining how to complete every mission, that probably covers everything you need to know about jobs. I don't really think I've missed anything apart from the content of the missions, like I say, but if I have, feel free to leave a comment or say anything, and I can obviously, if you have any questions, I can obviously comment and reply to those, and obviously fill you in with what you're missing out. So, moving on from missions, there are also other ways to earn money in RP, and that's through playing online against people through different game modes. Now, the multiplayer modes work exactly how other multiplayer games work, which is you'll have modes such as Deathmatch, Last Team Standing, Capture, Versus, which is 2 teams go head to head in a job, parachuting, racing, and finally, if I remember correctly, survivals, which is kind of like a wave-based survival type game, where the longer you survive, the more payout and more cash you will get at the end. And the game modes themselves are pretty much self-explanatory, like how I explained them earlier, but if you need to know any more, obviously just whack it into Google, because I don't necessarily need to add in that information here. Finally, to do with jobs as well, there's also player-made jobs, which can be made and played through the in-game creator. Now, for the in-game creator, I haven't actually spent a lot of time myself in it, so I can't actually explain it too much, but all I know is you'll have a lot of tools and a lot of different options for you to create your own missions, and for everyone online to play as well. Last thing to mention as well about jobs is that Rockstar sometimes have an event weekend or a double RP weekend, which can only be earned through playing a custom playlist of jobs that they've made themselves. This is a compilation of jobs in GTA Online, which can vary from being all races or varying from different types of game modes like Deathmatch to Last Team Standing to races or stuff like that. These usually crop up as a new update comes out for the game. So for example, when they released the new airplanes, they had a double RP weekend where all of the things were to do with different game modes to do with airplanes and stuff like that. So now that you have a basic understanding of how jobs and other stuff works in GTA Online, it's time to move on to talking about free roam. Now, free roam in GTA 5 works similar to how GTA 4 free roam worked, in the way that the world is yours to explore and you can cause mayhem by yourself or with friends and do whatever the heck you really want to. However, on the map you may notice that there are these little blue circles which, when you walk into them, triggers you to load up a specific job. They're not too much of a problem, but unless you know which job you want to do, then you'll most likely never end up using them. As well as having a free will to do whatever you want, you can also call up some of the NPCs like Lester or Lamar, who could do some pretty cool and nifty things for you. As well as the option to request a job from them, they can also do some stuff like adding a bounty onto another player, or you could get a mugger to call and mug one of your friends. There's a whole range of things which the NPCs can do for you, but they can't actually do them straight away. They need to gradually get unlocked as you level up throughout the game. I won't go ahead and spoil any more of the ones I previously said or you've seen on screen, but there are a lot of cool ones and you may definitely end up using them, and they can cause some pretty funny scenarios or different types of stuff. Finally, on top of those ones as well, there is also one other event within free roam which happens not necessarily regularly, but you know, it's quite uncommon, and that is something called crate drops. Randomly throughout playing, there won't be any specific time or any specific marker on it. It'll just randomly say crate drop in X amount of hours. Now what that means is that the X will obviously count for a number, because you know how that maths works. Say for example it's 10. So what that means is that within 10 game hours, a crate will drop in the area which is highlighted in green on the map. Once it has dropped, a message to everyone in the server or in the game will obviously be alerted to where the crate drop is, and everyone can obviously go to it whenever they want. However, once it has dropped, the first person there obviously gets to reap in the rewards of whatever is in the crate drop. The awesome stuff varies from crate drop to crate drop. Obviously it's not all the same, but they are some similar types of stuff in there. The normal way they work is that they either give a cash bonus or an RP bonus, sometimes a minigun or an RPG or a special weapon sometimes, and obviously different types of ammo for different types of guns. As well, if there's a Rockstar special weekend going on, for like I said earlier about if there's a new update that's come out and they want to celebrate by giving away free t-shirts for example, there might be a special crate drop inbound in X amount of hours, which means as well as all that stuff, you'll also get a bonus t-shirt or a bonus whatever the heck they're giving away on that specific day. The best way to find out about when these events are and stuff like that is to probably follow Rockstar on Twitter and to maybe go on Rockstar Social Club and find out when events happen from there. So now moving on from talking about free roam and now to talking on about something called the interaction menu. So what this is a really simple and much easier to use menu than pressing the pause button and accessing things from there. You can actually press and hold the back button, or depending on whatever, if you're on console it's the back button, whereas if it's PC Master Race then obviously it'll be a different key, and what that means is it'll open a left side bar which will include lots of different types of options for you to change from and obviously do stuff in there. Some of the stuff it contains is stuff like the quick GPS, which is amazing, it saves you a lot of time than manually pressing start and going on your map and setting a waypoint. There's also stuff in there like your inventory, which lets you toggle your hats, your goggles and stuff like that. You can also add impromptu races, which you can obviously do an impromptu race with your friends or anyone within the area. As well as all that stuff, it also includes some different options like changing your character's action, or your character's player moods, or your character's walk style. There are a lot more options as well within there, and you can obviously change those to whatever the heck you want them to be. And obviously, I'm not going to name them all now, but like I say, there is a lot there, and you obviously want to check that out as often as possible. As well as in there, there's also an option called Enable or Disable Passive Mode. Now, Passive Mode is exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to go into a multiplayer online game or with a different lobby of other people, and it'll allow you to not be killed or run over or blown up or shot or any other way of dying from another player. If someone does however try to like run you over or drive through you in a car, you'll just stand there as a ghost and they won't be able to do this. This may change on the PC. I don't know why it would change back to like the last gen version, but I think the way they've done it on current gen is actually really good, so hopefully that stays in the game. Passive mode can be disabled, although you will have to wait an extra 10 seconds once you have pressed it, so that you won't you can't just go on passive mode, go up to where someone is, disable it instantly, and then kill them, because that's kind of cheating. So you have to wait that extra 10 seconds just in case you do have to do stuff like that. So the interaction menu is overall very handy, and definitely recommend you getting used to it and rather using that rather than pressing the start menu and using everything from there. So now I've covered pretty much everything else but the free roam parts. Let's cover that stuff now. The first thing I'll start on about the other stuff I haven't covered is the apartments and garages. Once you've gathered enough money from completing jobs, you'll probably want to get yourself an apartment. The prices from apartments change, obviously depending on where they are and how big or small they are, and I think the most you can have, and I don't know if this will change for the PC version, but the most valuable apartment is 500k or 500,000 GTA dollars. With the apartments you buy, you'll also get a garage included, which vary in the amount that they hold depending on which apartment you buy. You can also just buy an independent garage on its own without an apartment, but I definitely recommend you only buying another garage if you've bought an apartment and you've got a garage with that one and you've run out of space within there. And as you can see from the background, I'm on the Dynasty 8 website, which is where you can buy all these apartments, and I'm just cycling through all the different types of ones that you can currently get on the PS4 as of February 2015 in other words. So there are a lot in there, bear in mind, for you to keep hold and obviously do, because there were a lot more from the Xbox 360 version like a year ago or however long ago, and GTA Rockstar can obviously add and change whatever apartment you buy as a new update comes out and stuff like that. So there are two ways for you to buy your own apartment. You can either, like I say, use the Dynasty 8 website from your mobile, from the in-game browser, or you can manually walk up to a house which has got the Dynasty 8 sign outside in front of, and you can buy the building from there. The interior of all the apartments differ depending on which one you've bought. The low-end apartments have the same interior or similar interior as the one you're seeing in the background now. The only changes of every apartment is that the view outside the window will change depending on the location of the apartment which you have bought. Also, the lower the price of the apartment, the lower the amount of cars you can store and have in your garage. You can check prior to buying the apartment on the Dynasty 8 website. You can see how much space you will have in these garages. There'll be like a description box or whatever, and if you click on an apartment, it'll say garage space 3 or garage space 10, and maximum you can have is 10. And once you do buy a new apartment, you'll get a new contact in your phone called the mechanic, who can deliver any of your cars from any of your garages whenever you want, or whenever you want, and similar or nearer to your location. Moving on from apartments now and on to filling those garages with cars. As I said earlier in the video, for your very first car, you'll need to find one that you're gonna like, and find and steal a car on the streets of Los Santos that, like I say, you are happy with and you'll obviously suffer with for the first early levels of the game. You can't have a really high-end car because that kind of defeats the point of having to earn money online and then buying them from the website, so you will have to find a car that is kind of low to mid-range that you are happy with. But like I say, definitely have a good look around for a car that you are willing to suffer with, because I think you'd rather spend your money on weapons and attachments and stuff like that rather than getting a new car early in the game anyway. So if you haven't completed the tutorial already and you don't know how to add in a tracker to your car, what you'll have to do is find one, take it to the nearest Los Santos Customs, and scroll down to where it says loss/theft prevention. Just simply buy a tracker, and if you want full coverage, which means if you blow up your car then you will be able to get it back again, then obviously do buy that as well. Once you do buy the full coverage, you will also get a new contract in your phone called Mohr's Mutual Insurance, which can be rung whenever your car has been destroyed. Do bear in mind that it won't do it automatically, so if your car is destroyed, you will have to call them up to actually get your car back. So going back to Los Santos Customs now, and I'm going to talk about a lot of the other customizations that you can do for your car. Altogether, there are lots of customization options, but all of them won't be available for every single car in the game. You can obviously spray and respray your car to whatever colour you really want to. As you can see from the background footage, there are lots of different options which you can do, and you can obviously change. Just make sure you don't go crazy, as they do cost a considerably more amount than they do in the single player, so don't go crazy. There are also some locked upgrades which require you to win a certain amount of races or do a certain amount of things to unlock the ability to add an engine upgrade or a turbo upgrade to your car, just to name some. So moving on from the Los Santos customization options now, and on to buying some of those high-end cars that you will obviously want to get. Like I said before, you can't steal them, go to Los Santos Customs and add a tracker. You'll have to actually buy them online through websites such as Legendary Motorsport or Southern San Andreas Super Autos. So the difference between the two websites are, the Legendary Motorsport is the one that contains all the high-end, high-priced cars that everybody wants. Once you've actually finally gathered enough GTA dollars that you can actually have enough to buy one, simply click which car you want, select a colour which you can get for free, and press the order button. Do be warned that you do need to at least have a garage or an apartment to be able to order any of these cars online. The cars won't be available instantly in your garage, but they will be delivered shortly after your purchase. There is a massive variety of cars which you can purchase off the site, so do definitely have a good look between Southern San Andreas Autos and Legendary Motorsports. However, those aren't only the two websites that you can buy vehicles from. There's also a website called elitastravel.com where you can buy civilian planes and helicopters from. Warstop Cash and Carry, which allows you to buy army-like vehicles such as the Cargo Bob and the Buzzard. Doctees.com, which specialises in boats and stuff like that. And finally, one website called P&M Cycles.com, which delivers bicycles and BMXs. So less covering about cars because I think I've talked about that as much as possible, and now onto covering weapons and the ammunition store. Now, just like everything in GTA Online, not everything can be bought at once at rank 1. As you progress through the game and throughout the levels, you'll unlock the ability to buy new guns and attachments. The attachments vary depending on the weapon, but at the very minimum, there will also be the ability to buy a suppressor, a flashlight and an extended clip for that weapon. There is also different types of camo which you can buy for these weapons, which can be unlocked through levels, and some other special camos which require you to get a certain amount of headshots with that gun within jobs. I'm not going to go through and name all of them because similar to the jobs, I'm going to be here forever, but like I say, there is a lot and I'd rather not spend too much time talking about and listing them. However, if you do need a big list, I'll put another link in the description which does list them all because I do know a website which does. Another thing I should mention, however, about the attachments is that like the body mods in Los Santos, customs, they do also cost a lot of money than they do compared to the single player, which means in the early levels you won't be able to buy many or all of the attachments at once. And finally, we have heists to cover. I can't really cover this too much because at the time of recording there haven't been too much information released about heists. However, I will go over and cover what has already been said / confirmed about the heists. So some details that we already know and that have been picked up from the latest trailer are that you will need a high-end apartment which contains its very own heist room, which is used to plan and select which heist you will want to do with your friends. Whether there will be a requirement like you will need to be a certain level is not known yet, but I definitely will go out on a limb and say that there will be one. We do know that once the heists are released, there will be at least 5 heists which will be playable and more are being worked on at the time. The heists in multiplayer seem to work similar to how you plan them and play them together in single player. First, you'll need to plan out how you will like to complete the heists, which will contain several different options of how you would like to complete it, like planning if you would like to fly in or go in by boat, how you will escape and stuff like that. Then, once you've actually planned it, you'll have to actually go through and do everything that you said. From the trailer, we could tell what some of the heists look like. One of them looks like infiltrating an aircraft carrier, another which is breaking into a bank and obviously stealing the money within there. Another one looks like you're breaking out an inmate from the prison. Another one flying in onto the private yacht which you may see from GTA 4, make a return, and getting the information. And finally, one heist that looks like it contains the Humane Labs and Research Building at the very right side of the map. They might be different from the PC version once it does actually come out, but just from me using my eyes and looking at the trailer, those what look like to be the heists that we will be playing. The payout of the heist is unknown at this time, but I think they definitely will be a considerably lot more than just playing jobs over and over and over again. Now, very recently, since I'm making this video, there's actually more information coming out on online heists. There's a blog post on the Social Club website which explains a bit more, and it says, "We are excited to announce that the launch of Heists from GTA Online will start on March 10th. We know it's been a wait and appreciate your patience. Heists will bring brand new 4-player cooperative gameplay experience to GTA Online, giving players the chance to team up and pull off a string of intense multi-part raids and robberies across Los Santos and Blaine County. Over the next couple of weeks we will have more information about the heists and about other new features that we will release with it." Now what that means is at this time I can't actually say any more information or any more information that they will release onwards from now, but obviously, like I say, all the stuff I've said previously is probably my speculation, and so I mean using the evidence that I've shown on screen as well, it seems about right to me anyway, at least. So that about covers it for heists at the moment. Like I say, there is more information to come out and you can stay up to date with that on the Social Club website, which is at socialclub.rockstargames.com. But for now, thanks for watching, and leave a rating on the video and subscribe for more GTA content, and I'll see you guys whenever GTA actually gets released on PC, which at the moment is proposed to be April 14th. Thanks for watching, goodbye for now.
Who I say I am.